everyone, welcome back to a new video and welcome to the start of a new series. And some of you might wonder why I'm starting a new series of videos on my channel about a new project, because yes, that is the case. You have read the title correctly. I'm starting a new series because I have gotten a new book idea, and it's a romance book idea, contemporary romance, and I have had this idea brewing since last September maybe, and then it was a short story or a novella format, so it was not gonna be a full-length novel, but I have since then read a lot more romance and I feel more comfortable with writing my own romance story. And I have been dabbling into the romance genre, writing a lot more romance, reading a lot more romance, listening to a lot more historical romances, and also writing romance into my fantasy stories. And in my debut novel, Ghosts of Rotten Ruin, I have a romance as a subplot, and in the sequel, the romance is a much bigger aspect of the story, but I've long thought about doing a full-on romance. This was, like I said, last autumn, and I was looking into publishing houses that were publishing romances in Sweden. The publishing house that is publishing my debut novel, Ghosts of Rotten Ruin, is a fantasy publishing house as well as a feel-good romance publishing house. That's their main genres that they publish. They also publish horror and they also publish historical romance, but that's their main genres. And I also looked on other publishers here in Sweden because romance is a much bigger genre than fantasy in Sweden, especially the feel-good romance genre is a lot bigger. But I don't want to write feel-good. It's not angsty enough for me and it's not as romantic as I would like, because if I am reading a romance or a romantic feel-good, I want the romance story to be the main focus. So I was looking into publishing houses that publish romance, not feel-good romance, but romance. And I stumbled upon a new imprint here in Sweden, which is called Harper Love, and it's part of HarperCollins Nordic, I think. In the US there's a HarperCollins, and I know there's been a lot of talk about HarperCollins recently, but I do believe that the strike is officially over and that the people working there has gotten new contracts that are good. I have not really read up on this problem because it has not been an issue with the HarperCollins Nordics. I don't believe. It's a new imprint here in Sweden from HarperCollins Nordics. I looked into this, I read up on them, and I know that they will get a lot of manuscripts, but they also posted a week ago, or no, it was this week, a couple of days ago, Monday, Tuesday. Today it's the 3rd of March, so the end of February they posted, I can pop up picture right here. They posted a picture. I don't know if you can read it because it's in Swedish, but they have a manuscript competition. All the people that like to read romance, likes to write romance, have a chance of winning this, and it has a deadline of August the 30th. Since they were one of the publishing houses or the imprints that I was looking at while thinking on writing this novella series, they were one of the ones that I wanted to send into if I were ever to write this, and then they posted this. So I see this as a sign, okay? And I actually have one of their books borrowed from the library, and the Swedish name is Cleopatra, yes, by Eloisa James, and it's the first book in her Wallflower series. I don't recall what it's called, the original title, maybe it says so. Yeah, How to Be a Wallflower is the title name, but this is a Swedish cover, so they have newly released 2 or 3, 4 maybe of their titles, and they're hosting this contest. And so I see this as a sign, and I'm like, okay, if I were ever to write a romance, this is the time. So when I saw this, I was going to work, and so when I was going to the bus, I took out my phone and I started speaking and a voice memo kind of deal about this story. Kind of having a discussion with myself about, what if I do this? Then might this happen? This is too close to another romance that I've read, because I want to be original, but I also want to be filled with angsty romance and fun romance. Not the feel-good kind, but the contemporary romance that you read from US publishers or English publishers. Kind of like Tessa Bailey or Talia Hibbert or Ali Hazelwood, and this is also a hair clip. Anyway, I want to write a book like that. A little bit funny, a little bit crazy, but very romantic, steamy as well, because I have gotten, by this point, I'm just gonna end my career as a fantasy author, just write erotica, because I am very proud of my steamy scenes in my books and the scenes that I've written, because now I have gotten 2 people complimenting those scenes in Ghosts of Rotten Ruin. My beta reader for the sequel to Ghosts of Rotten Ruin said that her favorite scenes in the whole damn book was the sex scenes. I have also gotten some positive feedback on other texts that I've written in the type of genre. And so by this point I'm like, should I just end my career at this point and begin writing just erotica or something? Because apparently I'm kind of good at writing those scenes, and I don't feel ashamed of saying that. I feel very empowered by all the feedback that I've gotten about that. But at the point where it's her favorite scenes of the book is the sex scenes, I want the book to be kind of sexy and romantic and steamy, so it's not gonna be a feel-good in any way, it's gonna be an angsty romance. And I have already thought up the male character. I don't know his name, but I know that he's gruff and grumpy. He has tattoos, he owns a bar. That's the male character, and I don't know his name, I just know that he has a lot of tattoos, he owns a bar, and is very grumpy. But then we have the female character, who is the sunshine to his grump, because I have realized that that is one of my favorite tropes to read and one of my favorite tropes that I would like to write. The plan going forward is to, one, the first thing that I'm gonna even do is to sit down and do character profiles for both of my characters. I know that the male character has a brother, but I don't know his role in the story yet. I want him to be a big aspect of the book because the family is very important for the male character, so I want them two to be really close. Maybe they're gonna have like game nights together or something, because I have found that that is the most important step when beginning a new project. You need to know your characters before plotting the actual book or having like romantic scenes and write them down. You need to know your damn characters. That's it for this introduction, I guess. The plan is for me to, before I begin editing the sequel to Gods of the Ruin, which I'm gonna do in March, I am going to write the 2 character profiles, and I'm also gonna start or finish the outline of this book. My plan is for this book to be around 60 to 80,000 words. I don't want this to be a big book, can add things later on if I need to, but if I'm gonna finish this before the deadline of August the 30th and also get in like an editing round with it, I need to bring down the word count a little bit. This is an experiment for me to write in a different genre, and I feel like choosing the grumpy sunshine trope for my first romance genre is the easiest way to go for me. It's 2 very different personalities and 2 very different ways of thinking, so that I can really jump into both of their heads and do a good way of telling their stories, like their respective stories. So this is the very early stages of this book, and hopefully this will not be just a one-time video when I'm outlining this book. Hopefully it's gonna be more than that and more videos. I'm planning on drafting this book like in 2 to 3 months. And if I'm gonna do that, I need to start in May. That's my plan. I'm gonna outline this now, and then I need to jump into edits of the sequel, and then of course the first book of Gods of the Ruin. And I don't have time for beta readers, so I'm gonna skip that part, which will probably be the doom of this story in that contest. But I don't know. If I don't win this contest, I'm gonna let it rest a bit, maybe send to a beta reader, and then try with different publishers, because I feel more comfortable now with writing, so that I don't need to do as much editing with my first book, Gods of the Ruin. And I think if they don't have a problem with like grammatical errors, I can have like a good chance. You know, you need to believe in yourself, and I'm trying to do that right now. Today it's the Friday, the 3rd of March, and if I have time this weekend, I'm gonna sit down and write those 2 character profiles, and I will update you on how I went, especially with the female character, because that is the one that I am unsure about, I guess. Hello everyone, welcome to the update. It's the 6th of March, Monday. I have been doing a little bit of schoolwork, a little planning for the week. I uploaded a picture to Instagram because I need to get more active on Instagram and post things, because I'm doing this marketing course with like a lot of the authors from my publisher, and my publisher is like holding this course so that everyone can get better at marketing themselves and their books and their brand, I guess. So there's been like some assignments, like home assignments to do, and one of them was to post some of the posts that you had like created or planned for during the course or that particular lesson or day. I've been sitting here using my cute pink pencil and brainstorming. I have been brainstorming for the romance book because now I have done my character profiles, or I'm not completed the character profile for my female character yet, but I have completed it for my male character. I know the premise of the story, I know the beginning scene, and I know it's gonna be grumpy sunshine. So the male character I'm gonna call Casper. He has a brother that is really close in age, and like they're best buddies, they hang out all the time. I have a plan, or like I have an idea for a companion book to this. It's gonna be from the brother's point of view, and that book is gonna be Friends to Lovers. I am very excited for it, but I am not gonna sit here and talk about the sequel because I don't know if I will ever write that, but it is a fun idea. And so I have been sitting down, just writing down the premise of the book and the actual like 3rd act conflict, or what triggers the 3rd act conflict. And I don't want this romance to be that dramatic that they like break up and they don't see each other for months, or they don't see each other for weeks even. I just want them to have a little bump on the road. This will either make or break your relationship. And I don't want it to be like dramatic or a big breakup, because some books do that, like the big third act breakup. But some books, I have been realizing, handle the third act breakup really well, and they just have a little argument or a misunderstanding, or they don't see eye to eye on things, but then they work it out together rather than work it out separately. So I want that to happen. I want that to be the case. So I have written down some thoughts and what is gonna trigger this. My plan is for like the first half of the book or the first third of the book to be a 1 week period. I know some romance books or some books do like a 1 week. The whole book is 1 week, but I think the first half should be like 1 week. And so that the first half of the book, the first week of their relationship, I guess, is really intense, and like she's doing all this for free because she needs to prove that she can work with him and like do nice things for the brand. And so during this week there will be a lot of like photo shooting and preparing for like launching this Instagram, because he doesn't have an Instagram, and so she's trying to learn him all of this stuff. You know, I take very much pride in my Pinterest. For example, here we have Gods of Rot and Ruin, which is actually an open Pinterest. So if you search for the title name, this title name right here, in the Google search bar, this will actually come up as like one of the first links that you can go to. And here I have like all the pictures that could potentially like inspire or have inspired my book. And then we have like the 3 main characters. And I also have one for book 2, which is just called Carwin Aesthetic. And then here is for book 2. And the characters that is most prominent. Anyway, I take very much pride in my Pinterest, and so I have, of course, done a Pinterest board for this project. And I thought that I could share it with you right here now. I want this to be a fun romance, like a comedic type romance, which is very like summery and cute and whatever. But I also want it to be not dark, but steamy. So I have kind of a mixed bag here, but I love this Pinterest board so much. We can actually just put standard here. I have been creating it for the past 2 days. I often do this when in the beginning stages, so in the brainstorming stages, I do this just because I want to have a clear thought of what I want to do, how my characters are gonna look and act, and how their romance is gonna be or the story is gonna be. So I feel like pictures or making a Pinterest board is so important for me in this stage, because I can always go back to this while writing and thinking like, how did I imagine this place, or how did I imagine him looking like or her looking like, or a specific outfit or a vibe. This is created by a vibe, let me just say that summery, a Swedish town feel. And so there's like aesthetics for characters or the romance or outfits, like this kind of print has shown up 3 times. Maybe that will be an outfit someday. I'm just very excited. Okay, I'm very excited. And an update, just because I have done all my character work in the character sheets, but sometimes while I'm going through the book, like in my head, I come up with problems with the female character, and then I have to tweak something about her, or tweak something about her backstory, or tweak something about her reactions to some things, just to like make it make sense for the story and make that 3-act story structure and that, whatever you call it, that curve, just to make it make sense, you know? And I have actually outlined already the first, 7 chapters? Yeah, the first 7 chapters, and I have outlined up to the midpoint. I don't have to outline chapters now, or like plan for chapters. I don't have to do that now, but I always find when I'm in this stage, when I'm having a 3-act story structure template in front of me, which is, by the way, created by Abby Emmons here on YouTube. I have used this template for all of my books. That's just a tip from me. If you do not know the 3-act story structure or any story structure, then you should use this. Since I have written like 3 books now with this story template in mind, I already know the story structure, but I still think it's good to open this document, write my outline in this document to remind myself of when I'm writing and looking back on it and reading what is the most important thing in this chapter or in these scenes, what is it I'm trying to show to the reader in this part of the book. And the 3-act story structure is really good for that. This genre is new to me, so when it comes to writing, I feel like I need to compare my book to like all of the other romances that I've read. I want to compare it when it comes to what type of typography I'm gonna use. It's gonna be a readable typography, but I also want it to feel like an actual romance book. And so I'm gonna look at my romance books and I'm gonna see if I can find the same typography. I don't know what they're using. And I'm also looking at them when it comes to chapter length or chapter headers. And also I posted something on Instagram asking how many point of views do you like in a romance? There was like option 1, 2, or doesn't matter. And then I also asked what type of perspective do you like? Do you like the first person point of view, the third person point of view, the all-knowing third person, or depends on the POV? And so a lot of people are choosing depends, which, you know, makes me a little bit angry with myself for putting that there, because of course nobody wants to actually like decide on one. I feel kind of confident in saying that this will be a 2-person POV. I'm outlining it as such, so it will definitely be that, but I think it's gonna be a third person close. So close third person, that is what I've written in my fantasy books, and I think that's how I'm gonna do this. And I also want to just show you this. This is my beautiful little curve. So this is not the dramatical curve or whatever you want to call it that I usually go for. I usually go for a bigger midpoint plot twist and then a really steep turn for the worse, and then working up towards the end, and then a little dip there, the dark moment. A long time ago I watched, I think, Alexa Dunn's video on writing romance, and from that video I got the sense that this may be a better one for romance, and I have like looked on this and I've thought about the romance that I have read, and it kind of makes sense. And for me, I really want to have that, you know, dip in confidence and that doubt after the midpoint, so it kind of goes down again. So the midpoint is not in the middle of this, but in my head it's in the middle. So hello everyone, welcome to the end of this video. I'm happy to announce that it's Friday today, Friday the 10th, and I am declaring myself done with the outline. I'm not done outlining the chapters, but I have written on every single plot beat in this book, and I know the overarching structure of the whole book. I know the first half really well, and I have outlined the chapters up until chapters 26, so a little bit after the midpoint as well. But now, today, I'm gonna begin the editing process of my sequel to my debut novel. So I didn't want to like drag this on any longer or make this video any longer than it needed to be. But I am done with the outline for now, because I was a little bit unsure about the second half of the book, and I know the big climactic confrontation, but it's the second half of the second act that I don't know what's gonna happen. I really feel like we need more of the family aspect, and I want to have more romantic scenes, because up until the 50% mark they are getting to know each other and they are fighting their like attraction for each other, but I want this to be kind of a slow burn novel. I think the 50% mark is the almost kiss, and I haven't decided their first kiss when that's gonna be, but I want that to be before their like first see me scene. So I'm trying to figure that out, but I know that if I'm gonna be able to outline the rest of this book, I need the story to be brewing in my head and in my mind a little bit more, so that I can brainstorm more and get more ideas. Because for me, if I leave a project for a couple of days or weeks, I often do get more inspiration from taking a step back and letting my brain rest and my brain do something completely different, and then I can get more ideas. This is the end of this outline with me, and the next time you will see this project is hopefully when I am done with editing the sequel. I'm done with editing God's Rotten Ruin. Maybe I've even sent the sequel to my publisher, and then I can focus fully on this project and writing this project, and hopefully get those 60 to 80,000 words done in time for that contest that I am participating in or writing towards or whatever. But thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like and a comment below and let me know what genre you typically like to write best. Do you write romance, or do you write fantasy like me, or do you write crime or thriller? Let me know in the comments below, because I would love to know. And subscribe, because I'll post a new video every week, every Thursday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!